Welcome, everybody. Welcome. It's Sunday service. This is the church of what's happening now in the 21st century for photographers. It really is. This is Behind the Picture, by the way. It's a podcast designed to help you, the emerging photographer, get to the next level with your photography. I'm trying to help you transition from your day-to-day 9-to-5 job that you hate to the life of a working pro. Whew, today's going to be a rough one, but it's going to be good. It's going to be a rough one, but it's going to be good. I might lose some people today, but it's all right because we're going to gain a lot more today. Watch this. I'm going to give you two sentences. The first one is this. Oops, that's not what I'm showing you. The dog bit the boy. That's a sentence. The dog bit the boy. I'm going to give you another sentence. The boy bit the dog. Seems pretty simple, right? What I'm doing right now is rearranging just two words. It's the same sentence with just two words rearranged, given to you in a different order, and it completely changes the meaning of the whole sentence. The same thing, by the way, goes for your photography career. The same exact thing goes for your photography career. If you don't do the right things in the right order, you're not going to get the outcome that you're hoping for. You're just not. But guess what else? The order that you do things is as important as actually doing those things. I learned the business of photography by doing it. I just started. I wish there was a roadmap. I wish there was a roadmap when I started this photography thing, but there wasn't. So ask yourself why you're afraid to start. Ask yourself this. Why are you afraid to start your photography career? I know exactly why. I believe it's because you believe every single lie that you tell yourself. The only one who's believed and heard every single lie about you is you. Because most of those lies you tell yourself. You tell yourself every day. It's why New Year's resolutions are bullshit. It's because you said this year, I'm going to start my photography career, or I'm going to learn how to do this, or I'm going to buy this thing. And then 2.5 months in, you stop doing it. There's always next year, by the way. There's always next year to start your career. There's always next year. You made a choice not to go all in. You made a choice. You didn't make a decision. You made a choice. And you break deals. You might have been breaking deals that you make with yourself. So if you've ever wondered why you're indecisive, or if you have a non-action mindset, it could be because you don't have confidence. And the reason that you don't have confidence is because you've broken the word that you make with yourself too many times. You've broken the word that you make with yourself so many times that you don't even believe the words that you say. So that's why you don't have confidence. Confidence comes from the root word confide. Let's break this down. Confidence. You can see that there's a word in there. It says confide. And what does confide mean? What does confide mean? And actually look, let's break it down. Oops, my poor pen. Confide in self. That's what confidence means. You're actually confiding in yourself. Let's break it down further. When you have confidence, it comes from trusting yourself because you know that your word is your bond. Confidence means confide in self. So when you have confidence, it comes from trusting yourself because you know your word is your bond. Give me a hey yeah if you're with me. By the way, people don't see the world through their eyes. And people don't see you through their eyes. People actually see you through your eyes.
Yes or yes?
People see you through your eyes. Actually, people see you how you see yourself. Holy shit. So you're actually literally causing people to doubt you because you don't believe in yourself. You're causing people to doubt you because you doubt yourself. Okay, let's go back to this word. Let's go back to this word, confidence, which means confide in self. Okay, so what is con? C-O-N. Oops. What does that mean? It means with. What does fide mean? It means truth. So confidence means with truth in self. With truth in self is what confidence means. So when you have confidence, you're moving in truth with yourself. You want one more? One more. It's a good one. You're going to appreciate this one. What does decide mean? Decide. Well, we'll do it. We'll break it down the same way. Decide. This is what decide means. D means of or from. Side means to cut. When you decide, you're cutting yourself off from any other possibility. That's what deciding means. When you decide to do something, you're cutting yourself off from any other possibility. You still with me? 3 birds are sitting on a fence. One flies away. The other 2 decide to stay. How many birds are on the fence? There's 2, right? 1 flew away, 2 decided to stay. 3 birds are sitting on the fence. 1 bird flies away. The others choose to stay. How many birds are still on the fence? None. 1 flew away. 2 chose to stay. And you're asking, well, didn't 2 choose to stay? Yeah, I said choose. The word choice means pick one. They didn't fly away that second, but they chose to leave a second later. Those birds made a choice 1 second, and then they made another choice a second later. In the first situation, the 2 birds decided to stay. They decided. Guess why they decided? They saw a hawk in the air. They had information. They made the decision based on that information. The problem that photographers have is they go around and they choose different things to shoot. Different things to shoot all the time, and it changes moment by moment. Often, the path that photographers take is the one of least resistance. I want to shoot that, I want to shoot that, I want to shoot that, I want to shoot that. I want to shoot that because I want to, and it's easy and it's right there. You can't live a path of least resistance. We can't live a limitless photography life like that. You know, we can't. As soon as you flood yourself with information on your market and decide what niche you want to shoot, knowing what you need to do to get to the next step becomes so much more clear. Photographers that are trying to change the world. Just think about this. Photographers that are trying to change the world laser focus on one niche. So they get so undeniable to that niche that competition is no longer a factor. Photographers that are so unwilling to change their approach, which means change your situation. When they come across channels like this, like mine, I'm fucking obsessed with helping shooters that are wanting to change their situation. If you're a photographer who wants to change your situation, I'm obsessed about helping you. That's all I care about, is helping you change your current situation. But the ones that refuse, the ones that don't want to change their situation, whenever they see someone progressing, whenever they see a business successful, whenever they see somebody doing something that they wish that they were doing, oh my God, those people hate those people because it's a reflection on them, because they know they could be doing that stuff, but they're not, which is why I repel people, because I remind you what you should be doing. Every time that someone shows progress or a big win, it reminds those who don't want to change their approach that they could be doing the exact same thing. Hard things like change, they never get easier. Hard things like change never get easier. But excuses, excuses are easy. So easy to make an excuse why you're not doing something. Most people don't make decisions, they make choices. So if you want to be a person of honor, you have to make decisions, not choices. You need to learn how to make decisions. When you decide something, you're making a covenant with yourself. You're making an oath to yourself. You're deciding to cut off any other possibilities. You understand? You actually have to decide to be successful. You have to decide you're going to be a photographer. You're going to decide that. I made that decision when I was 17. Let's talk one last thing before we get into the one-person business model. I'm going to express to you what a covenant is. A covenant. It's biblical. Two men sacrifice an animal together with one knife. They walk in a circle around that animal. They take the knife in their left hand and they cut their right hand. And then they would bind their hands together with a rope so their blood would exchange. And then they would make a promise over the offering that they just killed, offering their life to each other. I will protect you with my life. If I break my promise with you, the same thing that happened to this animal deserves to happen to me. That's what a covenant is. So what if the words and the decisions that you made was actually you making a covenant with yourself? If that was the case, you'd actually trust yourself, because you would rather die in honor than live in dishonor by not keeping the word that you made with yourself. How's that one? Give me a hey yeah if you're with me. If that was the case, your photography career, that would change forever. It'd change forever. You wouldn't just go through life dipping your toe in the camera photography picture water. Even if you knew that water could lead you to a river, and the river could lead you to an ocean. And then once you got to an ocean, you could build a ship. And that ship, you could sail off to your wildest dreams, even if you knew that. But I got to tell you, what you're going to do is you're going to decide to dive into that water fully because you believe in yourself. And you know that rivers lead to oceans. And you also know that you can build a ship. And ships can sail oceans, and goddamn it, ships can sail anywhere. Forgive me for saying that on a Sunday. And you also know that you can figure that out on the way. You know, you can figure it out on the way. So listen, if you want the life of a pro photographer, you have to have one thing. One thing, like you gotta have so many things, and I'm gonna go over a mind map of the things that you're about to have. But the one thing you can't do anything without is focus. If you don't have focus, you are in dire straits. Successful people focus on intention. Successful people focus on intention. You make this decision. People who are failing, oh my God. People who are failing, intention is for winners. People who are failing focus on distractions. People who are failing focus on distractions. Successful people see failure as that thing that happened because it was teaching me this. And that failure happened because I didn't know this yet. People who are successful see failure as preparation for the future. For a future, that thing that they were going to do, you know? People who are successful see that failure. It was something that was teaching me something. I didn't know that. Now I do. That prepares me now for the next time I do it. They're not a victim of that thing that happened in the past. I'm a product, actually, of the things that happened to me in the past. I'm this great person because of the things that I learned from in the past. People who are failing, they see failure as that thing that happened to them. Because the universe, or because people were conspiring against them. It's a failure mindset. So, you guys with me still? Are you ready for the one-person business model? Because this is this is like I get such joy from doing this. I was up again. I always say I was up until 5 a.m. I'm never lying. This morning I was up until 5:53, working on this for you. All right, let's get into it. So I invented this thing. It's called the Cardi method. And it's a 6-step way of taking you from your 9 to 5 to being a pro photographer. It works. I've been doing it for 25 years. It's just recently I actually did this, which is map out what I actually do for people. So here it is. This is the Cardi method. And it goes through 6 phases. This is phase 1. I don't like green as a color, so we're going to go back to my Brandon. Phase 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. These are the Cardi method steps. And you can see work in your market. You can't do anything without the work in your market. And you need to develop that work before anything else. And you notice how I said work and your market. This is where your niche comes in. This is where you figure out your niche, because this is literally the starting line. This is the starting line for this entire journey. You start with the work in the market. You get into your packaging. Packaging is website, portfolio, and you. Then we develop your value business, meaning what value do you bring to this niche? What value do you bring to the industry? We develop your value business. And then I help you create systems. Systems for absolutely everything. Systems for making money, systems for shooting, systems for uploading, systems for doing your website, systems for everything. And also, we work on the business model and structuring in here, and brand and positioning in here while we're working on the value business. And then, of course, outward reach. And outward reach is how the market sees you and how you interact with the market. And I talk to you about implementation and how to do that. And then, of course, integration and putting it all together. This is the Cardi method. And this is something that it works. It's masterclass shit. And it's the stuff that I talk about during my masterclass. And literally, I shouldn't be letting it out for free here on YouTube, but who cares? If I help you today, if I help you, it's all that matters. I don't care. So let's get into the overview of the one-person business model for photographers. It really starts with understanding your market and your niche. So when it comes to being a pro photographer, this is where it starts, is knowing your audience in photography and specialization. And you can see, breaking into the photography market, it starts with a clear understanding of your audience and your niche. Like, understanding is where this entire thing starts, and specialization. Breaking into the photography market starts with that. Whether it's fashion, editorial, portraits, sports, wedding photography, each area has its unique trends, client expectations, market demands. Photographers spend too much time worrying about how I get people to hire me instead of focus on who would hire me to do this. How do I get people to hire me? No. Who would hire me to do this? One mindset shift, just that one mindset shift changes everything. Once you change your mind to focus on potential clients, everything changes for you. Anytime you take a picture, ask yourself, who would hire me to do this? Ask every single time. And when you look at the picture on the back of your screen, ask yourself, who would pay me for this photo? Who would pay me for this photo? So you have to make sure that there's a market for your work. And by the way, if you don't have the answer on the tip of your tongue, or that answer isn't a market big enough to sustain you, you don't have a picture worth taking, and you don't have a market for the work that you're making. Working photographers concept ideas on paper first. They concept ideas on paper first before execution, and they align their concepts with a market demand. Like, that's actually how you do it. So how you're going to do it is you're going to deep dive into your niche. You're going to literally understand what's happening with current trends of photography, what's happening with popular themes, and the type of clients that are engaging with your chosen genre. Understand what makes your genre different and how you can bring in a fresh perspective. Super, super important. Craft a diverse portfolio. Your portfolio is literally... Your portfolio is your ticket to the industry. How you package yourself, your website, everything. Your brand is not just a collection of images. It honestly isn't. You have to invest time in studying current trends, popular themes, and the type of clients that are choosing to engage with your chosen genre. You have to understand that every genre is distinct, and you can bring a fresh perspective to any genre. You have to develop a portfolio to a target audience that highlights your skills and versatility within that niche. And it should show your unique vision, your style, and also intelligent imitation. Look what your competitors are doing. Examine what successful photographers in your niche are doing, how they market themselves, the type of content they do, their engagement strategies. Learn from the successes and their mistakes in your industry. So let's talk about developing your brand and your online presence, because we are a brand. We actually are a brand. And this goes into phase 2, which is the packaging. We have to develop a brand. Your brand is more than just your images. It's the stories that you tell and the emotions that you evoke. It encapsulates your visual style, your tone of communication, how you present your work to the world. A robust online presence is pivotal in gaining visibility and attracting potential clients in today's digital age. It's also about you. How you present yourself is also important. Invest in yourself and others will invest in you. Like, literally, what do your clothes look like? How's your style? Have you not got a haircut in a while? Have you not bought a new shirt, some pants, a pair of shoes? Are you all scruffy? Like, what's your look? What's your identity? When people see you, do they say photographer? Or do they say artist? Or do they say creative? Or are they just like, I don't know what this guy's doing? You know? People are trusting you with their image. So invest in yourself, and others will invest in you. So packaging, professional website development, incredibly, incredibly important. You have to have a website that is a showstopper, that's undeniable. And it's hard because photographers aren't designers. A majority of photographers aren't designers. It's like they don't have the design sensibility necessary in order to be web designers, but yet they're making websites. So having a professional website developed, even if you don't make it, have someone else make it. Using social media effectively. Facebook, Instagram. If it's Facebook, it's because you shoot families, babies, weddings, parties, engagements, events. Like, that's Facebook land. But social media, Instagram, LinkedIn, like, they cater to clients' specific needs. Like, you can look for niche specific stuff on all of those platforms, and every platform is different. So use social media effectively. Regularly posting, and also not just posting, but engaging. You have to engage. You have to respond to comments, and you actually have to bring value to other people on social media. That's how you use it. Use every unique feature. Make reels. That's why photographers who make reels are 10 times more successful than photographers who don't. So when you engage with your community, reply to comments, bring value to people, you do that every day, your community will grow faster than you can possibly believe. And Substack. Create a Substack about your journey. Share weekly updates. Utilize it for community building, because when people opt into a newsletter, when they say, I want to learn everything about you, when you're doing something, send it to me. When someone's opting into your content, do you understand how much of a gift that is? So if someone's doing that, just give them the content that they need. Be consistent. It's like Substack is both a newsletter and an email management software. It allows you to share your journey with a dedicated audience that opted in. Post weekly, share your experiences, your lessons learned this week, the progress in your journey, the progress of your photography projects. Substack is free, and it allows you to monetize super easy. So if you're bringing value to people, they might be willing to pay for what you're sharing. That platform, I love Substack so much. You can build a literal community around your work and your brand. Personal style. I touched on this, but personal style, you need a refresh, need to refresh your personal style if you're trying to go out there. If you're not wearing fresh shoes, fresh haircut, like, you're not ready to present yourself to the world. Show yourself in social media. This is another thing. You got to show yourself in social media as much as you show your photography. If anyone notices my social media page, it's like I show my work, but then I also show me working. I show me, because the photographs of you get 10 times the engagement than your photography. So, and that's not just you because you're at a low, it's because it's at all photographers of all, people want to see the creator. So engage with people that way by showing yourself, and you do that after you do a huge personal style refresh. So let's get into the next part. The next part is networking and collaboration. We have to network like it's our job, because it is. We have to literally network like it is our job, because it is. We have to build strong relationships. We have to be building relationships every day, because building strong relationships leads to new opportunities. It leads to referrals, and it leads to collaborations. So building relationships is key. You have to participate in industry events. Deal with workshops, go to workshops, exhibitions, photo walks, connect with peers and potential clients. I have a photography community of over almost 1,000 photographers that hang out daily, that I've been collecting the coolest people, creators that are trying to make it, everybody trying to do the same thing. So yeah, we're all in one place. Like, You got to hang out in those spots, you know? And also, collaborate. Partner with other creatives. Collaborate. Like, the thing that's amazing is how fast you can grow when you collaborate. Imagine you're a fashion photographer. This is you. And you're in a car, and each car has a wheel. And this is your wheel. This is the makeup artist's wheel. Makeup and hair. This is the model's wheel. And this is the stylist's wheel. Right? So now you can see if you're the only one new and the makeup artist is experienced, the model's experienced, and the stylist is experienced, that car is driving in the direction that it's going, and it's taking you with it. No question. It's taking you with it. If you have a car and these are the wheels and this is you and you're new and this is the model and she's never been in front of the camera before and this is a stylist and she's never dressed anybody before and this is a makeup artist who doesn't really know what she's doing, that means that each one of these wheels wants to go in its own direction. And how can that car go forward? You hearing me? So collaborate for growth, not collaborate for the sake of collaborating. There's no benefit in collaborating for the sake of collaborating. Collaborate for the benefit of you. Be the newest one on a team where everybody's more experienced. That's what I did. And that's how I literally broke through the photography industry, is that I was the new wheel working with experienced people, and they propelled me forward. Join communities. Discord. Join my Discord. Engage in forums, social media groups. I mean, there's tons of this stuff on Facebook. I just think that the stuff on Facebook is a little bit more low frequency than the stuff that you'll find like on Discord, or you'll find like through joining like private groups that you can't really learn about on Facebook. The coolest groups aren't on Facebook, just FYI, which is why I'm not on there with my whole education system. It's like, I mean, I might start promoting it there, but I don't do anything on Facebook except like use it as an aggregate. Maybe that'll change, but we'll see. So this is how you network. This is how you network. This is literally an overview of it. I can't get fully insane detailed because this is just YouTube. You know, it's not fair for me to do this here when people are paying me for the kind of stuff that I'm sharing like this in detail, like super detail. Okay, you have to master the art of the pitch. You got to master the art of the pitch in client interactions. Like, it literally, the pitch is so important. You got to understand that successful photographers know exactly how to communicate their value to potential clients. Exactly. It involves understanding client needs and presenting your photography services as the solution. It's super easy. You got to develop an effective pitch, and you tailor that pitch specifically to a client needs. And you highlight your selling points and how your work will benefit the client. You sell the transformation. You sell the transformation and your photography service sells itself. You also have to package yourself properly and package your prices properly. Like, you got to package the prices, you know, like they have to look like basic, deluxe, premium. Oops, that's a B. You know, and people will always say, well, I'm not basic. I'm at least deluxe. And my God, maybe I'm premium. Maybe I deserve this. So you have to price things in a way that makes people feel a certain way. And also, you got to be persistent with your follow-ups. When you follow up with someone who shows interest in you, hey, I'm interested in your photography, and then you wait like a week to get back to them, it doesn't really show that you're so interested in doing that work for them. So follow up quick. Shows interest, shows professionalism, and do it in a way that's courteous and non-intrusive. So that's mastering pitching and client interactions. So let's talk about our evolution and how you evolve. Like, there's one way to evolve as a human, and that's through information. Education evolved us, right? Once we learned things, we started to evolve as humans. The hard thing is with photographers, we just get to the point where we learn how to make pictures. Okay, I learned how to use my camera. I learned how to do exposure. I learned aperture shutter. It's like, I'm a photographer. It's like, no, bro, you've learned how to use your camera. Like, my 14-year-old can use my camera, who's 15 now, who's been using my camera since he was 4. Understanding exposure, aperture, shutter speed. So understanding a camera and how to take a photo, this is not mastery. It's just one part of it. Mastery is taking that understanding and turning that understanding into your full-time job. That's mastery. So how you learn how to do that is by information and being obsessed about that information and learning information specific to what you're trying to do. Once you're obsessed about learning information, now you're staying relevant. Now you're developing technique. Photography field is dynamic, eh? It's not static, it's dynamic. That's the part, that's the thing, that's the reason that I've almost gone out of business so many times, because I was static and the business was dynamic around me. The industry switched from film to digital right before your very eyes. Many of you didn't remember that. Like you just started once it had already switched to digital. But there was a time where it was film. And it's like, if you didn't change and adapt as the industry adapted, you were finished. And that's still happening right now. And right now, the adaptation is, it's the evolution from the photographer to the content creator. That's the evolution that's happening right now. So many of you who aren't thinking about the 21st century creator are wondering why you're not working. Why am I not working? Because you're doing the same things that you used to do, that used to work before, that now no longer work. This is what's happening. This is why I developed this, literally, is because like I was screwed. And what I was doing wasn't working. So I had to redevelop my whole thing. And it worked. And now I'm teaching it to you. So staying relevant is you become relevant. You stay relevant by developing technique. And it's not just the technique of making money with your camera, although that's one of them. Like, your talent and skill only gets you the work. You need the techniques to make the money with the work. That takes a different kind of creativity. Making a living at what you love, that's mastery. You can get there. You can. You can absolutely get there. But you might not be there yet. And maybe some of you maybe haven't even mastered the art of the camera and making the photos yet. We got to be constantly learning. Like, this is why it's like being a pro, you think you're just like, I got good at photos. It's like, yo, dude, you're already behind. Just with that mindset, people are going to be like flooding by you. You got to be constantly learning the current techniques, all the techniques, not just the shooting techniques, but the marketing techniques, the website techniques, the client interaction techniques, the social media tech. Like, you have to learn all of them, what the pros are doing in order to make money. It's kind of like, you know, so how you do that? Enroll in education that goes beyond post-secondary, because like post-secondary, unfortunately, they're missing the boat. They don't have it anymore. They don't have it. So you got to attend workshops, courses, or master classes to keep abreast of techniques and technologies. And I'm not just talking about any master class or anybody's workshop. Do you understand how many brutal photography workshops that I've seen where I'm like, I can't believe you paid for that? See it every day. Photographers who aren't in the know, who don't make a living at it, teaching other photographers who also aren't in the know how to do this and how to make a living at it, when they're not making a living at it as it is. That's who they're learning from. And then wondering why what they're doing isn't working. Because you learned from a system that doesn't work. But he sold it to me. It's right, he sold it to you because you were in need, and he's like, I have this thing, and you were like, I want it. Without doing the background check on like, let's actually see the work. Let's see if I resonate with this person. You have to experiment creatively. Challenge yourself to new projects or areas of photography that you're weak in. Like, are you bad at post-production? Then that's the only thing that you should be thinking about. Are you bad at exposure? It's the only thing you should be thinking about. Are you bad at focus? It's like, you have to experiment creatively. Like, experiment and shoot in a way that focuses on your weaknesses, not the things that you're good at, that you love to do. Focus on the things that you're shit at so you can be better at those things. But guess what? I don't like to do those things. That's why you're not good at them, because you're not putting any intention into that work. That improves skills, and it keeps your work fresh, and it keeps you innovative. And also, feedback. Feedback is part of the loop. If you're not doing the feedback loop and getting criticism from someone who knows, peers, mentors, clients even, they can offer valuable insights to help you improve your work. I do photo reviews every single week on this channel. This is another spot. People fail. People fail on the finances, man. People fail on the finances side. And me too. Me. This is my weakest spot. The weakest spot of my business was always this. Running a sustainable business. Running a business that I wasn't like, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to pay the rent. We have to manage the financial aspects of our lives to effectively in order to run a photography business. You know what I mean? Like, you got to have some sort of a buffer. You got to have some sort of a buffer. When you have some sort of a buffer, you can go into it with the right mindset. You're not in a starvation mentality. I mean, starting out, the starvation mentality is good because it makes you hungry. It makes you do shit you'd never do because your life depends on it. So that's a great way to start because you have to, you know? But when it comes to charging and setting your prices, when you're in a starvation mindset, you're like, I'll do it for $100. You know what I mean? Because you need $100 is better than nothing when you should be doing it for $1,000. But understand, like, when you're desperate, you have desperation breath. You know what I mean? Meaning, like, everything that when you're dying for that job, when you need it, every one of your words comes out to that person, and they just feel your desperation, like you're selling something to them, like you need them to need it more than they actually need it. And that's money driven. When you're in a different headspace, when you're like, dude, you have a problem, I have a solution, it's right here, you can, easy or not, it's totally cool, it's up to you. When you have that kind of a mindset, you sell a lot more. And that's how I sell. I don't sell, I'm like, this is you need me. But, you know what I mean? I'm not going to push it on you, you know? So implement clear pricing strategies. You have to have an idea in your head as far as what that's worth to you. And it should usually, whatever you're thinking in your head, double it or triple it, because you don't know your value yet and you don't know market value yet. So do some research on market value. If you're doing headshots and you're charging less than $300, you're doing the industry a disservice, because like bargain basement photographers are shooting for $300 and you're not bargain basement. You're way better than that. So set your prices at $400. Believe in yourself, you know, make a decision. Implement clear pricing and keep records. Keep records. That's something that, like, so many photographers are bad at this right here, man. Maintaining, like, hey, this is how much money I'm making. This is how much money I'm spending. This is how much money I need to make every month based on last month. Like, use tools, use accounting tools for tracking expenses, invoices, monitoring cash flow. It helps you make informed financial decisions. It tells you, oh my God, I can actually buy an R5. I do have the money for it. I use Wave accounting software, by the way. Wave is unbelievable. It's free. And it's an alternative to QuickBooks. And plan for future growth. Understand that, like, money, I used to think that money was to pay bills and to pay rent, but money is actually to make more money. So investments in marketing. If you invest in marketing, then that marketing turns into more money. If you upgrade your equipment, then that higher end equipment means now you can shoot video and expand your business offerings, which fosters growth. And stop making useless purchases. I buy gear that either makes me money or saves me money. Buy stuff that will last forever. Or if it's a camera body, it's going to give you 5 years, 10 years of use. And again, that's rarely beginner stuff. If you're shooting with your M50 or your APS-C, whatever, like that you spent so much money on, still you should have spent more. So you could buy something that's future-proof. Because already your APS-C sensor and you're trying to be a pro photographer, it's like, okay, you can. I'm not saying you can't, you can, but it's like, invest in gear that when you pull out your gear and someone's going to pay you, they see your gear, they're like, oh shit, this guy's a pro. Like when I pull out my camera body, like people are paying me 10K a day to shoot photos. So when I pull out my camera body, you think it's like a little toy thing? No, it looks like a machine. Like you don't know how to use this. Like it has to look pro. Why do I put grips on my camera? Extra battery life, vertical shooting, but also easier to hold, and it looks pro. It looks pro. Someone sees that, they're like, oh shit. And when you're shooting someone with this, it's like, yeah, this is why this session costs $10,000. The camera costs $10,000. Smart purchasing decisions. Stop making useless purchases. You got to buy stuff that's lifetime stuff. I have a tripod, my main tripod. I've had it since 1995. My light meter I've had since photography school. It's literally like 30 years old. Since photography school. Lifetime purchase. You know what I mean? Just buy it. Just buy it. So you have it so you can forget about it and get the next thing. You know? So, it's pretty simple as far as crafting your path to success as a photographer. Simple. I broke it down to you today in a very overview-y kind of way. This is how you run a sustainable business. You manage the financial aspects of your business, and you run your business efficiently, effectively. That's how you sustain it. You implement clear pricing strategies. Determine your price based on your skill level, market rates, how much it costs to run your photography business. And make sure your prices are competitive and sustainable. It doesn't mean you need to be don't race to the bottom. Maintain financial records. Use accounting tools. Track expenses, invoices, quotes, cash flow. Helps you make informed financial decisions. And again, I use Wave as an alternative to QuickBooks. And you have to plan for future growth. Set short-term and long-term financial goals. In the next 6 months, I'm going to be making $5,000 a month with my camera. And you got to invest in your marketing. You actually have to invest in marketing. You got to do the upgrades if you need to. Get a loan if you need to. Dealing with your photography career, it's challenging, but it's also rewarding. It's rewarding on a level that I don't even know if people understand. It's rewarding but you have to understand the market. You got to build a brand. You got to network. You got to master client interactions. You got to continuously be learning. You got to manage your finances. Yes, they're all key things, but you got to stay committed. Stay committed to your work and your business, and you'll carve out like the most successful career you can imagine. Every successful photographer started at the start. All of us, we all start at the start. That's how you do it. You begin at the beginning, you know? And by the way, this is just a podcast episode, what you're watching right now. Just a podcast episode. Free. Commercial free. I'm giving this away for free. Imagine what I give in my masterclass, my one-on-one mentorship. This right now, this is the creator economy. Prepare for a paradigm shift. Honestly, people who aren't as smart as you are killing it in this industry right now. They've learned a way to escape the 9-to-5, and they're no longer exchanging their time for money. They've leveraged way past that. And you have to as well. You got to stop exchanging your time for money, because time, sadly, is limited, very limited. It's the creator economy. I dropped the Cardi Method website this week. Make sure you check that, please. I dropped some digital tools, my first digital tools, very proud of myself. And I also dropped my first ebook. The ebook is free, by the way. It's a pricing guide for the 21st century photographer. So if you get stuck with pricing, you can literally go in the link down here and download my free pricing guide. If you do download it and rip through it, I mean, by the way, it's not short. I made like a book. So read it. It'll help you. And then like leave a comment here on my video and be like, thanks for the guide. It really helped me. Or do this, share it. Share it with some people. Share it with some people. That would help me so much if you actually shared. Shared this guide with some photographer who's struggling. Share it. If you want to learn how to make it in this new creator economy, you got to watch another one of my podcasts, watch another one of my videos, and check the Cardi Method. Please do that. thecardimethod.com. I hope this brought you value. A little bit of church, a little bit of Sunday sermon, a little bit of church of what's happening now for the 21st century creator. I hope this brought you value. I do this podcast every Sunday at 2 p.m. It's called Behind the Picture. Of course, you know me. I am your friend, Steve Cardi. Tuesday, Thursday, we do Ask a Photo Pro. Ask a Photo Pro happens. Welcome, Andrew. Thanks for joining us. Ask a Photo Pro happens at exactly 6 p.m. On Tuesdays and Thursdays. The smoke machine's not on. I usually give smoke. We're going to have to give you the artificial smoke. Guys, I hope this brought you value. My favorite viewers, you two. Did you have a good time? Did you learn something today? Did you learn something? Did you learn something? Amazing. I'm glad. Know that this commercial-free stream is brought to you by the members of this channel. I have so many members, and it's becoming so amazing. I got so many members, and you guys support this channel and make it so I don't have to do commercials during my show. I don't have to do commercials. There's no stop, skip, and all that stuff. There's no commercials. I have YouTube Premium, so I never see commercials. Anyways, get YouTube Premium. It's super smart. It's worth the money 1,000 times over, especially if you're self-learning and trying to like just get a whole bunch of information. Just pay for YouTube Premium. Just pay for YouTube Premium. They've stopped. You can't use ad blockers. You can't do any of that stuff anymore. Just pay for YouTube Premium. Just do it. And honestly, like, even if you watch creators and you have YouTube Premium, the creators that you watch, we get a percentage of the YouTube Premium money. So it's like, it makes no difference to me whether you're watching the commercials or paying to not watch them. And again, ad money, I don't really care that much about the advertising money here on YouTube. It's like, it's inconsequential. What I really do care about is taking care of my members. So if you become a member, you get access to chatting with me during my midweek shows, Ask a Photo Pro, and the photo review show. If you become a submission level member, you get to submit your photos through Discord, and I review them live on Thursdays. And also weekly assignments, which it's the creator economy. So you have to learn how to be an assignment photographer. So I give assignments here every week to train you how to do an assignment and work to a very tight brief. I train you here to do that every week. So the photographers that are participating with that are accelerating at a level that's faster than you. And at some point, I will reach critical mass with my photo reviews. We're already getting to the point where I'm reaching critical mass with my photo reviews. So at some point, how I do my photo reviews has to be different, because I can't review 100 photos. You imagine I have 17,000 photographers following me. If I had like 17,000 photographers submitting one photo each, like, I can't sustain that. So it's good if you're not if you're not submitting photos, because it's less for me to look at, but it's bad for you because you're not learning from watching me at the level and the velocity that you could be. Guys, I hope this brought you value. Make sure you check out the Cardi Method. Make sure you download my new ebook. It's free. I better go to my site and see that I got a whole bunch of downloads, because it's good information. It's free. I love you guys. Thanks for watching. I hope this brought you value. As mentioned, this commercial-free show was brought to you by all these cool members that like to support me. You're going to see their names scroll across the top of the screen momentarily. Also, if you became a subscriber recently, thank you. I appreciate you. I'm glad you found me. I'm glad we found each other. The whole point about this thing is it's a community. It's education here with me, but it's also a community of your peers who are right now flooding the Discord to talk about all the frameworks that I just talked about. That's the second part of this equation. You watch me, and then you go hang on Discord and talk to other photographers that are just like you. Everybody who's scrolling across the top of the screen, these are the last 25 members of the channel. And if you're scrolling across the bottom of the screen, that means that you were a subscriber within the last 25. I love you guys. Thank you so very much. Make sure you check the Cardi method, and I will see you on Tuesday. I had to take a break from making videos, by the way, for a couple of weeks because I was building the Cardi method. We're back this week. I love you guys.